Now, the Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert, there's a lot of hype surrounding Herbert. Will he make the next step? He's going into year 4 as an NFL starter, and it's about time that Herbert takes the next jump. Now, he's been improving every year, right? I mean, he's been doing well every year. You know, he's been 4,000 yards, rookie 5,000 close to 5,000 last year, but his second year he was at 5,000. That's when he exploded. So this is a guy who could throw for yards. 2 years ago, Herbert was probably had his best offensive season, but the defense was so bad. And will this be the year where Herbert takes that next step? Right? Because usually roughly around year 4 is when you really know, is your quarterback legit? Like, is he a superstar? Now, Herbert's been given the title superstar already, but now he has to go out and show it. Like, on a consistent level, he has to get this team to double-digit victories. He has to get them. They won 10 games last year, but I mean, like, he has to get them to like a divisional round, a conference championship. That's what he needs to do now. That's his next step in his progress as becoming a great quarterback. So, and the division is tough. The conference is tough, right? But some people already got Herbert as in the top 5 already. So he needs to take that next step. I like Herbert, honestly. I think Herbert is legit. I think this year he's gonna have the Chargers really good. They're gonna compete. I think they're gonna be the second best team in the AFC West. They're gonna be competing. It's gonna come down to the wire between them and Kansas City for the division. That's just my flat out take on that. So let's get to the games, right? For the LA Chargers, last season 10-7, lost in the wild card game. Their offense was ranked just outside of the top 10. I think that's going to improve this year. I like Austin Ekeler, really good player. Their receivers are going to be better this year, I believe. The defense could get better. They got Bosa. I think the defense will improve. And but this could be I think this is the year. This has got to be the year for the Chargers to take that next step. They're in a pretty tough division, right? Because the Donkeys bounce back, or the Raiders with Garoppolo. So it is a tough division, maybe the second toughest division outside of the AFC East. In my opinion, this season, but I think the Chargers will be up for the challenge. They're going to have one of the best offenses, and Justin Herbert, he's going over 5,000 yards this year. You can book it. He's going over 5,000. If he plays all 17 games, he will get 5,000 yards. You can book it. Guarantee it. Book it, and book it. Okay? So, where's the schedule? Week 1, hosting the Miami Dolphins. This is a Week 1 game, September 10th, Sunday. I think that's going to be a win for the LA Chargers. Chargers are going to start the season off red hot. Week 2 at Tennessee, that's going to be an easy win for them. Week 3 at Minnesota, they're going to beat Minnesota at Minnesota on Fox, 1 o'clock. Week 4 at home, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders, 4 o'clock game on CBS. They're going to beat that team, and they're going to go into the bye week 4-0. Bye week, week 5, they host the Dallas Cowgirls on Monday Night Football. They're going to beat the Cowgirls in LA. Bright lights. Dak Prescott will throw 2 interceptions in that game. And the Chargers are going to go 5-0 to start the year. People are going to say, 5-0 headed to Kansas City for the game of the year. October 22nd at Kansas City. Can the Chargers beat KC? Now, these games are going to be very important. You're going to find out later on why this game is probably more important, or one of the most important games that will come down to the wire for who wins the division. But the Kansas City Chiefs will win. Week 8, home to the Chicago Bears. They'll win that. Week 9 at New York, taking on Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be a tough game. Monday Night Football, Herbert versus Rodgers. I'm giving the New York Jets the edge here. I think Herbert will fall short. Week 10, home to the Detroit Lions. That's going to be a win. Week 11 at Green Bay. I think Herbert goes to Lambeau and beats the Packers. Not many people will do that this year on the road, right? I think we had Mahomes losing to Green Bay. No, Mahomes beats Green Bay this year. But a few other teams that are going out to Green Bay, a few other quarterbacks will lose. But I got Justin Herbert going out to Lambeau, beating the Packers, showing everybody that he's for real. Week 12, home to the Baltimore Ravens, the overrated Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Herbert beats the Ravens. But then he turns around after winning 3 in a row, 4 of the last 5. They will lose at New England. That Patriot defense will be too much to handle for Justin Herbert as the Chargers cool off a bit. Losing at New England December 3rd. Up there in Foxborough, where it might be pretty cold. Week 14, December 10th, home to the Denver Donkeys. The LA Chargers back in their natural habitat in LA. Nice, beautiful weather. They're going to beat the Donkeys. Week 15 at Vegas, back-to-back, close 4-day. This is a short week. I think they're going to lose to Vegas in a short week. Vegas will have the edge on Amazon Prime. Week 16, 9 days later on Saturday, they'll take on the Buffalo Bills at home. They'll beat the Buffalo. That game will be on Peacock. Week 17 at Denver, the Mile High city of Denver. They're going to lose that game. And this is going to be a tough break because this game might cost them a chance to win the division. And week 18, a must win for the Chargers, but it's too late because losing last week to Denver will cost them the division. If they were to beat Denver and then beat Kansas City, which they will do in week 18, Kansas City still clinches the division. And I'll tell you why. Even though the Chargers will finish the year 12-5, just like the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs will have a better record against the common opponent. They'll have both teams will be 3-3 in the division. It'll be a tough division this year, but the common opponent record, which is the third indicator on who on the tie to break a tiebreaker, will go to the Kansas City Chiefs as they will be 7-1 against common opponent. The LA Chargers will be 6-2. And the key loss here that will determine that will be the loss to New England on December 3rd. Obviously, that will be a loss that will come back and bite the Chargers in the ass, as well as losing up in they losing to New England will come back and bite. Now, mind you, that tiebreaker was also bad because as Kansas City will probably clinch the 1 seed in the the 2 seed, in the AFC because they beat New England, and New England also will have a 12-5 record. So it'll be Kansas City 1. It'll be Cincinnati 1, and Kansas City will be 2 with the common opponent record over the Chargers. And New England will be the 3rd seed because they lost to, despite them, because they lost to Kansas City. So they'll be the 3rd seed. So that's how it will go out. We'll get to that later on in the video as we finish the whole schedule and then do playoffs. But just so you guys understand, the Chargers will be 12-5 this year. They will win 2 more games than last season. They'll be better this year, and they'll tie for the division, but Kansas City will have the tiebreaker, and they will win the AFC West. So Chargers will be second. They'll pretty much secure a playoff spot, obviously, with 12 wins, and that's how it will go.